Okay, this is something our stake has recently done on the emergency preparedness front. We just got this email. It says the 2023 Emergency Preparation Survey. Brothers and sisters, friends and neighbors, all those residing within the boundaries of our stake. As a stake presidency, our goal is the spiritual and temporal self-reliance of each person within our stake. Quote from the General Handbook, it says, church members are also counseled to strengthen their own self-reliance through diligent work and with the help of the Lord. Self-reliance is the ability, commitment, and effort to provide the spiritual and temporal necessities for life, for self, and the family. As members become more self-reliant, they are also better able to serve others. End quote. We request your participation in this preparedness evaluation survey. We have conducted this survey in the past, last in 2018, but we ask that you retake this survey and renew your responses. This survey can provide vital information to leaders and emergency responders in the case of a disaster. We have many new neighbors. Some have moved out, and every family situation has evolved since we last gathered this data. Regularly, reevaluating your household readiness can be a productive exercise for even the most prepared. Stake and ward leaders will use the information to shape future self-reliance efforts. Quote, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. End quote. Your support and participation are greatly appreciated. Signed, the stake presidency. Okay, so then get into the survey. It says, what is this survey all about? And who will have access to see the answers. It says this data will help the stake and wards become more prepared for potential emergencies. Your answers will be kept confidential by the stake leaders, bishopric, and ward elders, quorum, and Relief Society presidents. The information will only be used for emergency preparations or in the case of an actual disaster. The statistics will guide future self-reliance training efforts. Okay, so let's get into this survey and see what we can learn from it and maybe help our own preparedness. So first, to ask some basic information, family name, address, phone, email address, emergency contact. It says provide contact information for someone outside of our stake or even state who would be notified in the case of an emergency. Please list the contact name, relationship, and phone number. So that's always important to have. Is your family's contact information in LDS tools? Is it up to date? And then list any other persons residing in your address whose name might not be found in LDS tools. So that's really important if you have renters or other people there with you. Alright, special needs. Please list any special medical or other necessities of any person residing in your residence. This could be critical information in an emergency. Alright. This information, while sensitive, could save lives and will be kept strictly confidential. So, if people have diabetes, they need insulin shots, wheelchair, oxygen, things like that. Alright, what other info are we gathering? Medical skills / training. Please check any extra training or skills held by any member of your family. In an emergency, your skills may become a vital asset to reduce pain or suffering of others. Basic first aid, CPR, CERT trained, paramedic or EMT, a medical doctor, a nurse, midwife, dental or orthodontist, any others. Medical skills and training. Are you with the police or fire or rescue departments? Military trained, heavy equipment operator, general construction, carpentry, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, welding, gardening, farming, ham radio, hazmat, utilities worker, auto repair, handyman, roof repair, other. All right, emergency equipment. Please check any items that you have that may be an asset to the ward and stake priesthood leaders in the case of an emergency. Portable floodlight, portable water pump. We just early this year, we had a ton of snow, and then all of a sudden it got warm really fast and rained. We had flooding issues, and we had 20 members of the ward come over and basically keep the water at bay so it didn't get in our house. And man, members, we probably had 6 or so different pumps running that just ward members brought over, and that was super helpful. High-powered fans, dry vac, wet or dry shop vac. Definitely some of those were used at our house. Portable heater in our old ward. I remember their furnace went out, and several ward members brought portable heaters over, and they were able to get heat to their house until their furnace was able to get fixed. Camp stove, propane grill, air compressor, large capacity water purifier, large tents, chainsaw, large first aid kit, gas or diesel powered electric generator, ham or other two-way radio. So all these things, these are great checklist items to see, like, hey, do I have these things? How prepared am I? How prepared is my family personally? Large ladder, snowblower, camp trailer or RV, tractor, heavy equipment backhoe. We were helping a widow in our ward, and several members brought over jackhammers, and we could not get the job done. Finally, someone was like, hey, I got a backhoe. Came over and fixed the problem right away. It was awesome. 4-wheel drive pickup truck, ATV, snowmobile, large wheelbarrow or cart, electric drill, hand saws, table saws or electric saws, garden tools, farm animals, solar panels, large battery, an inverter combination. If you have an inverter, you can use that with your car batteries and things like that to get power. Extra lumber, extra PVC piping, and other potentially helpful items. How many months of food do you have stored for your family? Nothing. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, more than 24 months. I love this. They're asking, look, how prepared? 2 years? That's awesome. Or I'm not sure. How many gallons of water do you have stored? On average, they say it takes a gallon a day for what you need to drink, cook, wash with, personal hygiene. So that would be 365 gallons per person in your home. That's not the easiest to store. It's something to definitely get started on, though. Do you have an alternate heating source for your home? No, just my furnace. Wood burning stove or fireplace with wood storage. Kerosene heater with kerosene storage. Kerosene storage keeps much better than gasoline, and it's a great option. Propane heater with propane storage. Natural gas stove that does not require electricity. Electric heaters with alternate electricity source. Gas fireplace or other options. Do you have 72-hour kits for each member of your family? Food, water, change of clothing, first aid, flashlight, blanket, medication if applicable, etc. for 72 hours in a grab-and-go kit? Yes, some or partial, or no. Do you have a written family emergency plan? Is there a written plan to be followed in the case of an earthquake, fire, flooding, etc.? Yes, no, other. Do you have a garden, farm, or other ways to grow or produce food for your family? Yes, no, other. Preparedness scale, on a scale from 0 to 10, how prepared is your family for a disaster? 0, not prepared, all the way to 10 is completely prepared. And this checklist, I think, helps you realize, how prepared is your family. What self-reliance topics or questions would you be most interested in for future training? Choose as many as you like. We will focus on these in the coming year. How do I get started? Long-term food storage, 3-month supply, water storage, water filtration and purification, 72-hour kits, first aid, fuel, gear, cooking in an emergency, rotation and organization, gardening, or other. Have you watched any of the Stake Self-Reliance videos? I didn't know we had self-reliant videos, so I need to check that out. Have you seen the Stake Self-Reliance newsletters? I have. They send out monthly newsletters with some great information in them. Do you know who your block captain is? I do not. We moved in less than a year ago, and so I am unfamiliar with who our block captain is. But that would be good to get to know. Do you have an emergency packet of information given to you by your block captain? The packet would include colored signs to place in your window to alert your emergency responders to the status of your home in an emergency. This is awesome. I haven't received this yet, but this is something that we should definitely do and make sure our block captains know who they are, and those that are under them know who the block captain is. Do you know where your water main shutoff valves are inside and outside your home? Yes, no, maybe. Do you know how to turn electrical power off to your home? Do you know how and when to turn off natural gas to your home? And the last one, it says, what else can the stake do to help in emergency preparedness? And, kind of an open answer. Feel free to give any suggestions. So I think that's super helpful. Some really good checklist items. See where your family's at. Let me know if your stake has been doing anything on the preparedness topics, and what cool things you guys have seen. Any great tips that we could use would be helpful. Thanks a lot.